Over the last couple of episodes, we've gotten pretty beaten up here on Scout. Shredded headsail, ripped clue attachment, big winds and tight quarters in the Torrey Strait. You can understand if we're a bit schizophrenic.
Why is sailing so hard? Seek adventure. Go sailing.
One thing's for sure. We're loving the relative calm of the Arafura Sea. But that doesn't stop us from ripping another sail. I'm starting to worry we're going to run out of functional sails. But an unbelievable wildlife encounter makes it all worthwhile. Are you subscribed? If not, will you subscribe? And stick around to find out what this is.
No rest for the weary. We're trying to get our ASIM up.
For record, we just picked up 0.4 knots. We're going 5.2 now. 5.1. So we're doing good.
Calm, aqua-colored waters are a welcome sight.
Now it is legitimately not that green color that you expect.
Yeah, no, this is beautiful.
I have a problem with how I rigged the block up here, so I'm gonna have to lower it.
Okay.
It's good practice. Give me a bunch of slack on the sheet.
Okay.
You know, 6 feet, like I want the sail vlogging, and then I just take it down, okay?
Yep.
Got tire ready, slack on the tack too.
Kieran, we need you on the tack line. What are you doing?
I'm knitting.
What are you knitting?
I'm knitting a neck warmer.
For where? A neck warmer for on the boat. That seems odd.
It is odd. Because we are going to Tasmania.
And it's gonna be hot there?
No.
It's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
My, how the times have changed. We are flying along here at 3 knots and a total of 4 knots of breeze. Where's that middle ground? I don't know how it's possible to break a line in 4 knots of wind, but we did it.
Eily, I'd like you to drop the halyard.
Yep. Wow, we are just going through stuff. That's our second line. No, that's our, yeah, it's our second line. We're down a sail. We lost a clue.
This is okay.
How's morale?
It's okay. It's been a challenging 24 hours, but we're still pretty much in one piece. Use some wind.
What you doing?
When I turn the engine key, nothing happens. I think that's to do with a relay or one of the 12-volt wires somewhere down in the engine room. But I'm gonna start at the beginning at the switch and trace everything from there and see where I've got power at each step along the way. At first I thought it was so that's what I'm doing. $113 miles yesterday, 739 to go. Conditions are much calmer on this side, but still we got some wind-driven chop. Yesterday was a day of recovery on Scout. My batteries were empty, Megan's were too, so got some good rest. So looking forward here where I got my tack line coming through. I had thought yesterday that it rubbed through at the block. I've got all the way forward, as far forward on the bow as I can get it. It didn't. It rubbed through on this guy. Tack line for the ASIM was rubbing right down there. So I've just taken the block out of the system at the moment and it's fine. It's in the category of Band-Aid, but it's gonna work. I just gotta remember to come back up, put it back on. It's working well to guide the jib furling line through the 90-degree turn it takes while it comes forward and then goes to the middle of the boat. But you never know, something's not gonna happen again until you figure out why it happened the first time. So I'm happy I found that. All right, day 13 in the books, 119 miles, about 620 to go. It's the tale of two sails these days, the last 24, 48 hours on Scout. We get the ASIM up during the day and fly along. It is beautiful, beautiful sailing conditions. Got a broad reach with about 12 knots apparent. Sail is very, very happy. And then we take it down at night and putz along. Saw 7 or 8 boats yesterday, probably our most, a lot. We're in and along a shipping channel, and that's not even counting all kinds of small fishing boats out here. So as opposed to the Coral Sea, we are not alone. Made water yesterday, just getting back I'm gonna pronounce this terribly, the Arafura Sea is so much calmer than the Coral Sea, shallower, sheltered by the Torres Strait there. Just getting into living life and a few more days to go.
Day 14 is done. We did 140 miles, 480 still to go. Will we ever get there? Yesterday was a beautiful day on the water, and we saw a pod of about 30 pilot whales. They swam all around our boat for about a half an hour. So beautiful. They were swimming between the hulls, coming up on the bows. An experience of a lifetime, something that we'll never forget.
Holy cow!
Crossed the Pacific Ocean, sailed through the Coral Sea, navigated the Torres Strait, and now we are sailing the Arafura, that's a mouthful, Sea, north of Australia, on our way to Darwin. We are tired, the boat has taken a beating, we are ready to arrive. It is a gorgeous evening to be out on the water.
Day 15 in the books, 149 miles, 331 to go. We are doing something we rarely do. We are successfully sailing on a broad reach with the main and the jib. The wind is not far enough aft to where the main covers the jib, which is great. We've been sailing well. We are in a race, something that Scout rarely wins, but we are looking, there are two ways into Darwin, the long way and the short way. The short way is tight and with some big tidal channels, but if you time it just right, you get shoved through the whole way, and you don't want to time it wrong. So we may be able to get there right at the beginning of a shoot, so to speak, of the tides, but we'll see.
You know what it looks like to me? Brownie mix.
We're sailing through brownie mix.
What else could it be? Mom thinks it's floating sand.
Well, you know, Australia is quite deserty. I wonder if this is like dust and sand that's blown off of the continent and is just floating. Nate thought maybe it was like an oil slick, but it's definitely not oily. You see that? Nothing's ever easy. We're just, we're gonna try to gain a little bit more speed here heading into Darwin and redeploy the ASIM. The sock got completely twisted, the sail inside, and so we had to take it down, and now we're trying to straighten the sail out inside the sock. These socks are a bit of a headache. I know some people love them, swear by them, but for us it's just kind of nothing but trouble. Well, now it's a fatality. Sail's ripped. All that nonsense.
Day 16 in the books. 130 miles yesterday, only about 100 to go. Conditions out here are super smooth, super calm. We are in the bay, we are going for it. We're making our way through the eastern entrance. You need to line up the tides in order to do that. We're a little bit behind where we'd like to be, but I think that's gonna be just fine. We're gonna go through the tight and more heavy current, tidal current places in light, and then we're gonna have to anchor in the dark. Australia behind me, you can see Melville Island there maybe. Excited. The end is near. It's been a rough sail. My lesson, boy, for this sail, not just that ASIM, but for this sail is you gotta let it come to you. You can't fight it. Blew out the Code D in the Coral Sea, having it up into too much wind. The second reef point going in the Torres Strait, I mean, that's just an old sail where the stitches are compromised. Don't fault myself for being at a second reef point as opposed to a third there, but the ASIM I forced it. When it was twisted, I had a moment. I could have just said, all right, let's not worry about it. I gotta get this out with no wind and flake it out. I didn't. I tried to get it up again, and that's when it tore. So patience and acceptance out here. You can't just force it. You gotta take what comes.
Our pantry is pretty darn empty at the moment, but we still have enough provisions to make something delicious like this. A delicious homemade bread. Look at that bread, it looks so good. What a beautiful golden crisp. And a little olive oil with Parmesan cheese.
Day 17, still with a little bit of comforts.
Look at those kids. Are you guys excited? So it'll be continent number 3, country number 18.
You said you were getting a smile on a quiz, but yeah, I am excited.
Wow. What has been a day of motoring slower than I would have liked. We're in the Howard Channel now, and all of a sudden we have a bit of wind and the current with us, which is creating more apparent wind. We're sailing along at 9-10 knots. That's all I can ask for.
We are enjoying a gorgeous final night of our trip. We have our Genoa and our Maine up with just a puff of breeze. Feels like we're at anchor. This is gorgeous sailing weather. Especially after, what, 16 days of an arduous journey. We are so excited and so ready to be there. Australia, here we come. You see that? That is Darwin. We are here, about to drop the hook. It's 11 o'clock or 11:30 at night, and we are approaching our anchorage.